The original trails were pretty rough. A lot of the skiing was on farmers' fields.
And I came to this area for the first time in the late 60s to go skiing, like everybody else from Toronto.
You could look out over Georgian Bay and see the railroad, a fair amount of the railroad tracks. So we could, as a boy, it was one of the exciting things that went on in Craigleith, because there wasn't much exciting. My family bought the house just after the Great Depression. It was built in 1879 by Alexander Fleming. And it's still there, and had an addition put on it, about 50 years ago.
I was thinking about it. I lived here at the Fleming house for a short time. Lived on the Blue Mountain Road in a log house, which my husband built. We lived in Georgian Woodlands in a log house.
My family named it Craigleith. It comes from Edinburgh, where there's a place called Craigleith as part of Edinburgh. It's sort of like a suburb. We understood it to mean rocky harbor. And because there was all kinds of rock, etc., and the family was involved in quarrying that rock and shipping it around by water and some by rail too, that's where the name seemed applicable at the time.
My father loved mountains, and so he returned to his beloved sport, skiing, and went to Quebec, left his family for a couple seasons, and when he was teaching skiing in Quebec, he met a businessman, lawyer named Peter Campbell, and Peter Campbell later became a senator. He and Jozo struck it off, and Senator Campbell became Jozo's financial backer. They developed the company. My father built a lodge, and with Senator Campbell's backing, Jozo bought farmland to the south of the original area and ended up with 700 acres of skiing terrain and trails.
So we watched the ski train. It would come up and stop, and skiers would get out, and Jozo Wider with a sleigh and horses would pick them up and take them up to the trails that were there. There weren't nearly as many, of course, as now. But it was either go on your own or wait for the Jozo to bring his sleds down, and with horses. That's the way it was done.
The trails were cut with axes. We had no chainsaws or bulldozers at the time, so they tended to be pretty rough.
Blue Mountain at the time when I first came, it was just a big field at the bottom and the hills. The area was much quieter, except on the weekends when everyone arrived from the city. But it was such a beautiful place to come to, because we had this wonderful ski area, these wonderful ski areas. And then we had the beaches, we had fishing, swimming. Our pastimes, every Friday night we'd come to the depot for dinner. That was the standing basic menu: steak, baked potato. Sometimes Ken would cook fish if he had it. Splake was, and once in a while a ham steak. But it was baked potato, steak, bring your own wine. And we would come, I would really every Friday night. And lots of people, sometimes there was a lineup.
The great revolution really was in snowmaking. So when we arrived, we were pretty helpless with the mild spells, but in the 1970s, we developed modern snowmaking systems and we invested millions in snowmaking, and the technology got better and better. In the end, we covered about 90% of the mountain with snowmaking. That really provided a lot of insurance. It was pretty much guaranteed that there would be skiing, and it extended the ski season.
We were faced with, are we going to live in Toronto or up here? Went to the ski banquet, got in behind the principal, of the school that was hosting, and they had a job opening. And when he found out I was a teacher, he said, well, why don't you come and see me? I ended up getting a job. I mean, so the ski industry connected me to my job, which was like bizarre. But and then I started teaching skiing as well. So it was a great life, and there were lots of parties all the time. You know, people would have after ski parties at the hill, and then usually there was a dinner somewhere.
But the big change after my father was that Blue Mountain became a year-round resort. But that was capped off when the Interwest Village was built. We formed a partnership with the Interwest Corporation, a major resort developer, a mountain resort developer, in 1999. And they developed the village, built hotels, shops. That became the core of the year-round operation.
We'd go to Collingwood for groceries often, but it was almost like Collingwood was happy to have the skiers come through, get their groceries, buy their booze, and then get out to the mountain and have all the party out there. It was almost like a separate little community out here. In 1981, we bought this, the Rendell Farm, which was a 7 acres out of a large, I think, couple of 100-acre farm. And the farm was really interesting in that that family had been there since 1850. And they came from northern Scotland, the Orkney Islands. And there's a really neat history of the family coming to Canada. I got a copy from Mabel Reekie. Her mother, I think it was Isabel Reekie, had written the book, and Mabel gave me a copy, and I read it through, and I just felt so attached to that family. As far as socializing, my favorite thing was to go to all the old farms, to the farm sales, and that's what everybody did. It was Saturday morning, where are the sales? I felt like that Toronto moved north, and it changed the atmosphere here. For those of us who lived here in the 70s and 80s, it's like, what's happened? What's happened to our gentle little towns? And but you have to share. It's such a beautiful area. You have to share.
Thank you for joining us. If this story resonated with you, the journey doesn't have to end here. Please visit our online exhibits to explore the communities we just visited in much greater depth. You'll find a collection of original photographs, personal letters, and archival records that bring these voices to life in a way we couldn't capture on screen alone. Next time on Towns of the Blue Mountains.
Well, my grandfather came and settled, and his name was McMurchie, and so that's why the little corner schoolhouse was called McMurchie School.